mean, but it can also be other registries. Then, if such a profile is ready, then a metadata creator, we have specific editors. There are multiple editors developed in specific projects, which actually create the metadata records that goes into a local archive, into one of the institute's repositories, or these Clarion data centers, and through OAI PMH we can get that into one big joint metadata repository. And on that we have generic services, like a semantic mapping component, which is, we'll talk about a little later as well. And there is a metadata catalog, which is like a general catalog on top of all the harvested metadata. And it's this catalog, we have one that has a faceted search interface, a faceted browser. It has to deal with all this flexibility that comes in due to this workflow. And it has to deal with the semantic mapping of various registries and structures. So I'll go into it in detail. So how is semantic mapping happening in the component metadata infrastructure? So a CMD, component metadata, has a component, an element, or a value, and they should all be linked to concepts. Say concept between quotes, because they are not always from ontologies or taxonomies. They can also be of more like a flat list of things. Basically, that means there is an URI that points to a semantic description. And if concepts are shared between multiple concepts or between multiple elements, then there are shared semantics between these metadata elements. Currently in the system or in the infrastructure, mainly Dublin Core are used, and then there are these xvid data regions. So if we would have two components like language here and dictionary, there is this semantic registry in the middle that defines like what do we mean with a language name. The human understandable name of the language, and something an ID, in this case comes from ISO 639. And from the components and the elements, there are links to into these semantic registries. And so, for example, in the dictionary case, language points to language name, and the language component that we defined earlier also points to the same language name. So we know that they share the same sense of what a language name should be. Well, if you want to know ISOCAD, so ISOCAD is a data category registry. This is a registry built by ISO Technical Committee 37, which deals with terminology and language resource management. And it allows very elaborate specifications of data categories, so definitions, alternative names, examples, value domains, all these kind of things. It can be freely used by everyone, and you can also create your own new data categories. But there is also group management and community management. So the Athens Core Group, which is a group of metadata experts in this domain that had met several years ago, they have looked at all these standards that were already used, like OLAC, TI header, and the INVI standard, and they created around 200 metadata data categories which are already in ISOCAD, used by CDI users. But we use these multiple concept registries, so there is already Dublin Core, things like there is also language in Dublin Core. There's also in ISOCAD there are several things related to Dublin Core. So we need, also ISOCAD is open, so anybody can come in and define his own language again. So you have to do something about the same as relationships at least, or be possible to link that. So there we have a relation registry, which allows to store these same as relationships, but also other types of relationships. And the idea is that this could even be user or at least community-specific relationships. So for some community, distinctions between certain metadata elements might be very important, while for other cases, they say, I don't care about this distinction. This is mainly important in linguistics. If you have certain theories, then noun might be completely different in the other noun, but for the general user, these are all nouns. So you can group these all together. So now how does it look currently in Claret? So this has been going on for some years. So we have now around just over 124 profiles. So these are the metadata schemes that really have instantiations in records. They use about 800 components, 2,400 elements, around 500 data categories are used. There are 791 metadata data categories in the registry, means they are not all used by these profiles. But you can also see that there are still some elements over there without data categories, so not everybody is doing all this semantic mapping, which we of course would like to. There are profiles, so schemas, which are basically mimicking the existing metadata schemas, like ORAP, ZI header, MetaShare, which is another big European project, and it has also built one big metadata scheme, but also in a component-based approach. These profiles differ a lot in structure, so some are very simple. They have just a flat list of 5 to 10 elements. Others are large, like the MetaShare one is a large one. They have like 10 component levels, so deep nesting with hundreds of them. And well, we are weekly, or by every other day, we are harvesting all these CMBI records from around 70 providers, and we have around 500,000 of them. And this link under here brings you to the specific search interface. So looking a bit more closer to what the